Welcome to Rhyme and Reason, the podcast where music meets meaning. I'm your host, Priss. Join me as we dive into the stories behind the songs, exploring the rhymes that make us move and the reasons that make us think. Across all genres, we'll dissect the lyrics, analyze the beats, and uncover the hidden gems that make music magic. Let's get into the rhythm. New episode every week. Rhyme and Reason, where every note has a story. Hey lovely, it's your girl Priscilla here. Thank you for joining me for another edition of Rhyme and Reason with Priss. I am so thankful for anyone who was able to tune in on the first installation that we put out last week. And I really appreciate the feedback that we've been getting. And I'm definitely going to be working on that. Whatever was good, we will continue to work on making that better. And the things that we could improve, we will definitely try to get it to a good for you. So thank you so much. I am looking forward to today's episode because I have a very, very special guest. I'll be introducing her in a little bit. So I'll talk to you about what the song we're going to discuss today entails. So I did pick Remember Me, and that is by the late, great Lucky Dube. So this was off of his multi-award-winning album, Prisoner. And so among those songs was the iconic Remember Me. So there's so many reasons why this jam is widely deemed legendary and why it resonates with a lot of people. So we'll focus mainly on the lyrical content, just like we will with all of our shows, and just talk about what lessons we can draw from these songs, what makes them special, how we can apply some of these lessons in our own lives, and how we can apply these to any healing journey that we're on, especially with a song like Remember Me that has a heart-wrenching message, but also touches on healing as well. So I look forward to talking to Diana about this beautiful song. And as always, at the end of the show, if you like what you hear, I would really appreciate if you could share the podcast with your lovelies. And if you can follow Rhyme and Reason with Priss on all platforms, I would really appreciate it. And keep the feedback coming. That's how we grow. And so let's get right into it. So today I have Diana, Elisha Nheera. Hi, Diana.
Hey, Priss, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm all right.
Thank you for joining us today. So just a little bit about Diana. She's a passion-driven talent manager, digital marketing specialist. She's a mom, a content creator, content marketing influencer, social media marketing entrepreneur, certified life coach. Go girl. So in short, we call that creativepreneur extraordinaire. So Diana is an enthusiast who will help you paint a canvas for your business and for your life. And so she's also a graphic designer and a social photographer. I'm really glad to be talking to Diana today because she loves her music. And on Rhyme and Reason, we are all things music. Anything that speaks into our lives, that's what we want. So welcome, Diana.
Thank you, Priss. I didn't realize I love music so much. I had to make it part of my career.
Yes. And you wear it well because I really find you very insightful. I follow you on social media, and I really, you're very well spoken and very wise, which is why when I decided to do this show, I was like, I have to have Diana on my show.
Oh, thank you.
And I think we'll have quite a good time talking about Remember Me. You also picked this song. It's on my list, and then you happen to pick it.
Oh, wow.
So this is good. So we'll start with why this song?
Well, it's one of those songs that I grew up thinking it means something else.
Right.
So I remember when I was young, and I was staying with my grandmother, bless her soul, she's late now.
Bless her
And
soul.
going through things, I came upon some letters from. My mom is going to.
It's okay.
From
We won't tell mom.
some photos between my mom and then husband, but when they were boyfriend and girlfriend, when they just met. So
Right.
obviously they were staying in, they were not staying together then, and there were letters written in between, and one of the dedications that I saw somewhere was like, remember me. So for me, from there it just stuck that
Right.
or maybe it wasn't particularly that song, but there were some Lucky Dube
Yes.
songs that were there. And then one of the Lucky Dube songs that I then got to know was Remember Me. And I vividly remember Priss, I think from Ezongido from back in the day.
Yes.
And then, so it to me, when I heard Remember Me, it became a love song saying wherever you are. And to be honest, I never heard the daddy part until
I didn't either.
I never
I
heard
thought
the
it was a
daddy
love
part.
song too.
Yeah, so it was a love song, and that, that vulnerability to say wherever you are, whatever you're up to, remember me, like keep in touch, kind of thing. It touched me from big then.
I think the message is actually very neatly packed in this beautiful reggae mid-tempo beat and easy listening. I mean,
and the vocals.
oh,
The
Lord.
vocals.
The vocals.
So it started from there, and then whenever I heard that song, I would obviously think of that stuff, because I remember my grandmother reprimanding me, saying I wasn't ever supposed to be seeing those letters and stuff, but too late.
Oh, oops.
So it was one of those sneak peeks into stuff that I believed I wasn't supposed to have had access to, but it became a love song to me growing up and thinking, oh, okay, so if I miss somebody. So obviously sometimes when I stayed apart from my mom, I would actually say, remember me, like, don't forget me, mama.
Aww.
And yeah, that's why now when you were saying a song and I'm thinking, okay, a new song from the legends that actually means something to me,
Yes.
Remember Me came up, and I'm like, why not talk about it? Because then actually knowing what it means, it's like a whole, okay, wow, stop. Let's step back a little bit and re-listen to everything that the song is actually saying, what this man was saying, what this man was going through. I don't know if it was from his personal experience or it was just him echoing the sentiments of other people, which I believe are so many people world over.
A lot.
Not only in our society, but like world over, like literally world over. So yeah.
That is so many people's story, like you said. So just a little background here. So it's a beautiful song. It talks about the struggles of a young child who's growing up without their father. The message really is not just describing the pain. The pain is well described. You feel it in the lyrics. You feel it in the voice, the vocal delivery. You can't miss the pain behind the voice. But there's an element of, I don't know if it's a resolve at the end or an acceptance of that plight. But yeah, it's a song that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is, when you realize this is a child crying. By child, I'm not going to limit it to a young child.
Exactly.
But even a grown-up being a child to somebody.
Yes.
And just saying, father, whether the father is still alive,
right,
is passed on to glory, whichever it is, but wherever you are, remember me. Wherever you are, I actually need you. Wherever you are, I'm here.
Yes.
Are you ever going to come back? Are we ever going to see each other? But whichever way,
you're not forgotten.
Yeah. And the most fascinating thing for me as well is when he says, I tried to look for you many years ago, but the woman that married you
That takes us to another like conversation about blended families and the struggles that people face in such such situations. But yes, you're very right. You're very right. That part as well, it stands out.
Yeah.
I tried to find you.
And obviously reached somebody who was, but what totally stands out for me is the resolve, like you're saying, the resolve, the love, the unblameableness that this child puts on the father. So, well, daddy, I tried to find you, it's okay, you're good, I love you, or whatever it is that he wants to tell him. And it's not you, but it's this woman that you married. Of like, I feel a strength in what this child feels for the father, or expects from the father, or I don't know what it is.
Right.
But he actually keeps the father sort of unblameable, and then puts whatever it is that may be surrounding this father not being there, and what the fault that he didn't find, or she didn't find the dad to be somebody else's fault. So that bond for me is just like, oh wow,
it's unbreakable.
Yeah.
It's beautiful but sad.
Very sad, very sad.
Because I feel like it points to, as human beings, how sometimes we, should I say, idolize certain situations to where we can never find fault
or rose,
and we will find someone or something else to blame. Which
makes sense. If you are my person, if you are my father, obviously you can't dislike me enough.
It's not possible
to just leave me. I believe in that, but something else, there are circumstances maybe surrounding why you're just not here, or you can't be here, or it's touching.
It's unconditional love.
Yeah, it's something else. And then I don't know if we ever, to anybody who's in that situation, if it changes much when you grow up either.
That's interesting.
To then say, oh, okay, so this is probably what was going on. You probably just left. You went and you found another life, and it was easier for you to just go on with that life without probably looking back. And
I could be wrong, but I feel like it's a coping mechanism. I would, instead of trying to imagine being rejected, or trying to dwell on the fact that you were separated from the person you love, from that parent, instead of focusing on that, it's easier to idolize them and to make it seem like it was earthly. It wasn't earthly possible for them to be there for you. Yeah. And that kind of keeps them in that safe space, that, glorified space in your life, and easier to deal with than the actual rejection.
I sometimes call those kind of things necessary assumptions.
Yes.
Like, it's one of my necessary assumptions that I make. Kuti, everybody likes Diana, everybody loves Diana. I mean, like, why would you hate Diana? Right? But then for me, it's not because I desperately want to be liked, or egoistic so that people love me, but just so that I'm able to actually love other people and do nice things for them, because coming from the departure that we are all on the same level. We love each other, we like each other, we are for each other, we protect as human beings, Tine Ubuntu and all that. Yeah. So it is a necessary assumption, especially growing up where there's a lot of uncertainty sometimes, and there's a lot of watching other children around you,
right,
having both parents present.
Yeah.
And that dynamic, sometimes it comes back to feel like maybe it's your fault,
right,
that they are not there, and what. So it can't be my fault, because I know for sure I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
So it's not my fault. So definitely it has to be something else.
Yeah. And it's not their fault either.
Yeah, well.
So it's circumstantial. And whatever, that saying, whatever makes you sleep at night, I guess It's one of those. So I wanted to also talk about, in that song, there's a part that feels like this son or this daughter is still seeking their father's validation. Like, do you find that a lot of children who didn't grow up with their parents, or a lot of people who didn't grow up with either parent, they still have that need to feel validated and accepted?
Yeah, I wouldn't limit it to not having grown with our parents or that, but generally, for a lot of people at some stage, at some age, there is that part where you leave home and you go somewhere else to live, somewhere else to do things, somewhere else. Whatever you do, obviously, especially if you have lived with your parents for the first 25 years of your life,
Right.
you're used to filling them up on what's going on. They're
Yes.
part of your story. So naturally it continues that
You
you
want
you
that.
want, yeah, you go back. I mean, we used to go to school, study the whole term, bring a report to show them, and then their response was everything. Whether you've passed or you've failed, their response was everything.
Right.
Either you're being shouted down for failing or you're being praised, but that was everything. So
Right.
for any child, it's important.
It doesn't go away.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
always want to know. So what would you think now that I have children? Maybe this child looks exactly like you. If you were here, how would you feel? What would you do? What would be happening? I know you never raised me. We were never together, but now I'm here. I'm
Right.
graduating. I mean, even on social media, a lot of people whose parents are late or are not present when they have like milestone activities in their lives at any given time. That's always like, I wish my mom was there to see this. If she is alive, I wish she was really here. If my
Yeah.
dad is alive, I wish he
I
was
wish he was
really here. If he is not, I just wish he was alive. And if he is alive or she is alive and somewhere, the next thing that you do is you're documenting everything.
Yes.
And you're sending and
sending
making
it.
sure that they like
I
you want
can.
them to be part of that story and be proud with you, even when you're going through bad stuff.
Yes.
For some people, I know for myself, sometimes I'm not able to actually go to my family, to my mom, when I'm in the middle of going through
Yes.
something. Not because I'm hiding stuff from them, but it's more of protecting, because I'm thinking, oh, this one person who really feels for me. These are the two people who are like, if anything happens to me, they experience it the way I would.
Or
If
even
the pain,
worse.
yeah. So
Yes.
so I don't want them to go through that stuff.
Right.
So I'll probably not tell them whilst I'm going through it until after. But still, I'll go back and say, oh, okay, this happened. We have this going on and it's a happy thing, or this sad thing happened, or when I obviously can't go through it at all without them,
Then you have to tell.
I have to tell them and make them part of the story, in a good way or in a bad way. When I'm overwhelmed, when I'm out of my depth, they would know what to do even when they don't. But just having them there, and so it never leaves you like that need for. I don't know if it's still validation, but yeah.
It is. I feel, okay, I'll give you an example because you touched on something very important, and I'll share something personal here. So, my boys, I have three wonderful babies.
Aww.
And my two older boys, we lost their dad, my husband. That was 2015. So my boys were 11 and 9 at that time. And since then, so they were not even out of middle school. So yes. So you'll find even the milestones that they've reached since then, we can never help but wish their dad was there to see them through that.
And be proud.
And be proud. And I know he would be. And I know wherever he is, I know he's probably smiling and very proud of his boys. But that doesn't go away. I mean, we know that dad's not around. We know that he's not here, not because he doesn't want to, you know. But there's always, every time something happens, whether it's happy or sad, we have that conversation. It always comes up.
And
I wish
sometimes they're
that
actually saying, if he was here, he would be doing
he
this.
would be saying this, or he would be saying that, or he would be making fun of you, or you know, it's always that we always have to have that conversation. And so I can only imagine. I think we always want to make our parents proud.
So yeah, and the song, I don't know what was going on in this man's mind. How old was he then?
I have no idea, but we can definitely look that up. But I will say that the song and its message transcends like generations. I mean, this was in 1989, and the song right now feels as fresh as it was.
It does, and not only generations, but it's universal.
It is.
Because in any community, there is a dad who's not there for any reason.
Yes.
And I wouldn't limit it to just dad, but any other family member for that.
Yes.
Who is not there. And it's so relatable for him to have seen that back then and then sang it in such a way that even my child now will listen to that song and actually relate, like, wow, and feel like, okay, this person is singing my story.
Dee, can we talk about that last bit where he hits that falsetto and that pain in that voice? Yeah. Yo, it hits my heart every single time, especially since I started understanding what the song meant.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So I thank you for discussing this song with me. Any other lessons you wanted to talk about as we wrap up the conversation about the song?
Oh, well, being a talent manager that I am, working with musicians for the most part, I'll take it to the artist to say, when you are rendering your message, to put such emotion, to put such meaning to. Did you realize that the verses are so short, like two word lines, kind of short, and small verses and everything else.
Remember me.
Just remember me.
Remember me.
But the meaning in that "remember me,"
it's deep.
Yeah, it's so much. It's you will put a lot of context into it.
Yes.
On your own, the listener will put a lot of context. So, I mean, it's a lot for me when I'm going for lessons. That's what I'm looking at to say, oh wow, this is like a masterclass. Yes. The song itself is a masterclass. So yeah, there is that lesson. And then obviously as a parent, that lesson that sometimes it really doesn't matter what happened or how it happened. I think that's actually very Antina.
That's right. That's right.
So things happened back then in those circumstances, in that time, under those dynamics. It made sense. But it's never too late to actually backtrack and fix some things where they are fixable. Because I know there are parents out there who probably messed up big time.
Right.
And you left some children out there. Sometimes life is not working out.
Right.
Where you are, and you feel, even if I come back, I don't have anything to bring back to show for my fatherhood or motherhood or whatever. So you stay there because you're feeling you have nothing to give. It's never really like that.
Right.
Sometimes just coming back and trying. At least you can try. At least you say, I tried, even if you're then rejected or whatever. But you say, I tried, or reaching out. So many people actually get back together because they've needed each other for so long.
Yes.
As parents and children. So make that step. I mean, that's the lesson. That's it. Remember me.
And if you need a mediator, get one.
Get one.
And you know what? For the child that had to grow up without that parental presence in their lives, it's okay to hurt. It's okay.
It's normal, actually.
It's normal to hurt. You don't have to stifle those feelings. However, if you want to resolve it, seek counsel.
And remember me. and put some action into that remembering.
Yes.
What do you do when you remember somebody? Are you picking up the phone?
Yes.
Are you getting on that bus, on that plane? Are you
writing a letter?
Writing a letter? Are you?
Yes.
What is it that you're doing? Are you getting on a hunt to say, I'm going to find this person? Remember me. What does it mean to you?
Thank you, Diana. This is so amazing. Thank you. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about your work. So, Miss Talent Manager, first of all, I just have to say, I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of the work you're doing.
Thank you.
You're such a vibe. It's so, trust when I say right now we're beaming because she's just such a vibrant personality and very wise. And I'm just so glad she's here to talk to us today. So tell us a little bit more about what you're working on right now.
Well, we are currently making a lot of noise with the big single of the year. Even if I say it myself, it's called Jegera.
Jegera. Hashtag that, will you? Hashtag Jegera.
Hashtag Jegera as in stand firm, as in keep going, as in whether there is a hardship or not, you are building up so that that day when it comes, you keep standing and you keep holding on.
Hang in there.
That's basically it.
Jegera. Hang in there. Jegera.
So yeah, that's been
videos out. It's been out since Monday.
The video dropped out on Monday the 19th. The song came out on Friday the 16th. And it's for me, it's we are in the middle of a campaign at the moment. So there is no rest. There is a lot of activity where the back end things have to be monitored, and we have to make sure they're going on the other side. There's a lot of contact with media, with fans, with our clientele, with everybody, and all those have to stay oiled and going on that side. And then obviously the artist doesn't stop, he's on to other projects as well as we speak. So he's done his part, delivered the song to us.
Natty always delivers, man. He always does.
He's delivered to us, and now we are doing our part whilst he moves on to the next project. So there's no stopping, and obviously performances in between. I also work with other talent besides Natty. There's 5'9", who's based in China. He was in Zimbabwe recently.
Yes,
and
I remember.
Really enjoyed.
Oh, he did?
He really enjoyed coming back home in the first time in 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know a little something about that. I was away for 16 years, by the way, before 16? I first came. Yes, I was away for 16 years before I first visited. So I know exactly how he was feeling when he hit that ground.
Yep. And then there's Eden Lang as well.
Oh, yes,
Eden is based in Harare.
Okay.
And currently creating.
She's creating.
So I know for me, it's from this project to the next, to the next. It keeps me on my feet. And I must say I love it. It's overwhelming at times, very overwhelming, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of serving.
Yes.
It's a lot of public. The public, but
a lot of peopling.
Yeah, but also in that comes that responsibility to say we are actually the ones who are custodians of the music industry and actually creating the projects that will go out there. What are those projects doing? The impact from those projects. So when there is a jegera going on and somebody, the most beautiful thing is when people send messages or call in to say, you have no idea what this song is doing for me. Yes. I was at that place where I was almost giving up because I don't know what else to do. But there you come in with hope.
Yes.
With that message of strength. You're encouraging, you're empowering. And to put it in the Buju Banton words, currently is uplifting. Yeah, so it's also uplifting back. So it's like you send to the universe, and then the universe sends back that hope and encouragement, uplifting.
It's a give and
our
take.
way, and that keeps us going.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. And you love your work; it shows in everything you do. So Any last remarks? I wanted you to also share your handles so that if people want to keep in the loop.
Yeah, the on the last remarks, it's just that we keep going.
Yes.
Consistency is our biggest tool. By the way, congratulations, Priss, on
Thank you.
yeah, this is really beautiful. The show is called
Rhyme and Reason with Priss.
Rhyme and Reason with Priss. Guys, check it out.
Oh, thank you. You've been so encouraging. I must say, I really appreciate your words of wisdom. I really appreciate your support.
Thank you.
You're always cheering me on, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, to find me on social media platforms is Diana Elisha Nheera at Diana_P_Elisha. Diana Elisha Nheera, and across all social media platforms.
We will definitely keep following to see what's going on and keep enjoying what you put out and what your artists put out. And we're so proud of you. And so that's it for today. Thank you for joining me, lovely. I really enjoyed this conversation. I look forward to our next show with another special guest. Thank you so much. Take care.